Ladies and gentlemen, our friends from the media, good afternoon. This is Karen Nabasco, your WWF Philippines ambassador, and welcome to Bangkulis, the Tuna Tales from Hook to Cook virtual book launch. Before we start today's affair, we would like to request our guest to kindly change your Zoom name to your organization, underscore your name for everyone's reference. We would also like to inform everyone that for documentation purposes, we will be recording and streaming this Zoom call on WWF Philippines official Facebook page. Rest assured that all information obtained from the event registrants will not be shared with any other party in compliance with the data privacy law. Today's virtual book launch aims to celebrate the WWF Philippines Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program's milestone as we wrap up the first part of the project. Since 2011, WWF Philippines has been working on two handline yellowfin tuna fishery improvement projects, also known as FIPs, in the Lagone Gulf and Mindoro Strait. The projects have deep and strong relationships with key stakeholders who help champion sustainable and responsible fishing practices, empowering our local tuna fishing communities. The coffee table book, Bangkulis, is named after the yellowfin tuna, a fish that has buoyed the livelihoods of thousands of Pinoys. Authored by people who have been with WWF from the very beginning of the program. The book shares 24 tuna tales to share the lessons we have learned in implementing our fisheries improvement project while painting a colorful narrative of the country's very first MSC fishery. To start today's affair on a high note, we'd like to call on WWF Philippines Project Manager for Sustainable Tuna Partnership, Ms. Joanne Pepino Pinondo.
Hello. Thank you, Karen, and a pleasant afternoon to everyone. Um, Thank you so much for joining us today as we virtually launch our coffee table book. Hello to our friends from the media and to all of you who are joining us in this live streaming. Today's event is very meaningful for us, most especially to my project team of the Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program, who have been working passionately for over a decade to improve the fisheries performance in the waters of Lagonoy Gulf in Bicol region and in the waters of Mindoro Strait of Occidental Mindoro. This book is a celebration of what we have achieved over the years, together with our partners and with the Handline Fishers, whose journey towards sustainability we have constantly supported. Bangkulis, we named the coffee table book after the yellowfin. We dedicate most of the stories in this book to our local tuna fishing communities as our way of honoring them of their valuable contribution in making our endeavor a success despite of all the challenges, the twists and turns, the bumps and holes along the way as we journey together to ensure an equitable tuna supply chain from hook to hook and to secure the livelihood of our tuna handline fishers and their families. As what I've always been telling to my project team and our partners and stakeholders, kailangan talaga nating siguraduhing mapanatili ang likas kayang pangisdaan para sa hanap buhay ng panghabang buhay ng ating mga maliliit na mga mangingisda. Bangkulis will showcases what the Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program has been able to accomplish after over a decade of the fisheries work. The book focuses more of the process itself rather than a specific milestones the program achieved in order to present our work in Mindoro Strait and Laguna Gulf as a viable case for a good multi-stakeholders partnership. In this book, we wanted the readers to have a glimpse on how we were able to empower the tuna fishing communities and how we are able to contribute in improving governance in the two project sites. We wanted to showcase also some practical innovations that we have introduced through our traceability work in order to improve catch reporting compliance and reduce incidents for seafood fraud. As you know, when we started the project way back 2011, there was mistrust along the tuna supply chain, from the fishers to the traders and the processors. The fishers claimed that they were cheated by the buyers. The processors treated each other as competitors. And so when fishers, traders, and exporters sit down together in some of our gatherings, they clashed. Our attempt to get them organized in a multi-partnership dialogue platform took us several years because of these complexities and conflicting interests across the supply chain. It is really a roller coaster ride for our project team. And so we employed various strategies to improve collaboration and cooperation among them. At the end, we have succeeded all these challenges. When before this started, when we started our focus of our work on trust building by promoting transparency in the supply chain through a traceability work from hook to hook. So in this book, we want also to highlight our work on fishery improvement project, or what we called FIP. Nowadays, FIPs is an emerging interest in the seafood industry. There is a fever in the global seafood market because consumers from major international markets demand for a sustainable seafood that can be sourced from the fisheries improvement projects. But for us in the WWF, and I wanted to emphasize this, we go beyond the market standard, the market demands. We wanted to transform lives and change the ending for our fishers. That is why we wanted to ensure that they get better access to a well-regulated and a well-managed fisheries where they depend their livelihood. That's what matters us. We also wanted our fishers to amplify their voices and strengthen their position in fisheries governance. That is why we work closely with the local government units and with BIFAR to empower the fisher folks in their representation to the fisheries aquatic resource management councils at all various levels, from the municipal pharmacy to integrated pharmacy, and even representation to some national councils. The Sustainable Tuna Partnership team also envisioned that our fishers will be liberated from from the financial dependencies to local traders so they can negotiate better prices of their catch. That is why we introduced the group savings and loan committees in the Tuna Fishers Association. Training them on financial management. Then we capacitated them and their families of value-adding activities and business enterprise development so that they can reduce their indebtedness. We dream that someday our tuna fishers will have a greater pool in the tuna supply chain and will truly benefit from the efforts that we all put together in this FIP work that we have started since 2011. I also wanted to underscore the community organizing work that we have done in the 140 tuna fishing villages in Laguna Gulf and in Mindoro Strait, wherein we organized the 21 Municipal Tuna Fishers Association. Then eventually we federate them and we organized the two Tuna Fishers Federation in both project sites, which led them to enter into an alliance with the tuna processors. And we call the alliance as the Philippine Tuna Handline Partnership, or the PTHP. For us in WWF, as well as with my project team in STP. This is a very fulfilling work for our project because we have successfully built the strong partnership of the tuna supply chain key players who don't trust each other's before because of priority clashes. But now they were able to sit down together, and I'm so happy seeing them that they closely collaborate to resolve important issues in the fisheries. Our fishers are now confident in advancing their fisheries agenda. They can well articulate their issues and concerns and even assert their rights. As a development worker myself, seeing the marginalized sector being empowered is a really enriching experience for me. It's really fulfilling. Our fisher at the very start of the project are very silent and reluctant to participate in meetings. But now they are the ones standing in front to facilitate meetings. This is really amazing progress that we have, that we were able to make a difference in our fishers' lives. Now we are so happy and confident to transition our role to them. The journey to reach this far is not that easy. And I will give due credit to my project team for the patience and perseverance together with our counterparts in the respective local government units and BIFA regional offices in Bicol and Mimaropa. Thank you for your continued commitment of this initiative. I am also grateful to our colleagues at WWF Philippines and our friends from the Pangingisda Natin Gawing Tama or the Panagat CSO Network for their full support in our policy advocacies. And of course, to WWF Germany for their continued guidance, and to our EU partners from the seafood companies who funded this project from the very beginning. Thank you so much for all those years of helping our tuna fishing communities achieve their goal. We have so many inspiring stories to showcase in this book, our trials and our triumphs, on how we're able to make those stumbling blocks as our stepping stones, on how the breaking points became our breakthroughs. Our story may go on and on. So we came up with this Bangkulis tuna tail hook to cook to represent the project in the form of a coffee table book, written in an understandable manner and replete with strong photos from the field in order for it to be both attractive to and comprehensible to general audiences unfamiliar with fisheries work. Despite its laymanizing of the STP program, we want also the book to serve as a sharing of best practices with those interested in implementing their own fishery improvement projects. We wish to thank all our partners and stakeholders for a decade of progress and hope that this book can inspire other fishery managers and community development practitioners to continue promoting sustainable development. And on that note, we invite you to get your feet wet and help transform more coastal communities with us. And let me share to you now a short video presentation to capture the stories of our fishers on the ground on how they were able to transform their lives. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Mabuhay po ang sektor ng pangisdaan. Ingat po tayo palagi at maraming salamat. So can we have now the video for the PPTSD story? Thank you.
Ang kalagayan talaga ho nung una, kami ay watak-watak, kanya-kanya. Ang aming pangingisda, ang vision lang ay talagang pang sarili, pang pamilya. Yun lang, para kumita.
Dati ang mga mangingisda dito, kahit makahuli sila ng marami, mababa ang quality.
Kung anong presyo ng mga kasa, doon lang kami. Sila ang nagpipresyo ng aming huli. Hindi kami makademand kasi doon kami umutang eh. Kaya yun ang problema pa namin na mga mangingisda. Hindi kami basta-basta makaangat. Ang WWF ay isa sa mga NGOs na tumutulong sa mga mahihirap na mga mangingisda. Pagpapaulad ang kanilang kabuhayan. Dahil nga sa mga training, nalaman namin kung paano yung pag-handle ng aming huli at paano namin mapanatili yung aming karagatan na hindi maabuso. Kung maganda ang kalidad ng huli namin, makakaroon kami ng magandang presyohan. Nung magkaroon ng PPTST, na-organize kami, nagkaroon kami ng asosasyon.
Napalaking epekto nung lalo na nung ma-federate kami kasi nakilala siya, lalo na nung mga stakeholders.
Malaki po yung pagbabago at naging relasyon namin sa LGU. Naisip nila siguro na ito pala dapat tulungan. Dahil ito ay samahan ng mga maliliit na mga mangingisda na naghihirap na dapat ay tulungan at mapaunlad.
Ang kalagahan ng asosasyon, naipon-ipon namin yung mga magtutuna and then nabigyan ng aral kung paano manghuli ng tuna para ma-sustain na hindi tayo mawala ng tuna sa dagat.
Dati, kung ano yung kinamulatan ko, yun na lang. Kung agawan, agawan. Pero ngayon, nabago dahil sa PPTST. Lumawak yung kaalaman namin. Pati yung mga anak ko, nalaman nila kung paano yung tamang paggamit sa pangisdaan. Napakahalaga nung mayroong sustainabling pangisdaan kasi nalaman namin na pag naubos, maubos din ang aming hanap buhay.
Napakalaking tulong po niyan sa unang-una sa mangingisda, sa amin, at saka sa mga henerasyong pandarating.
Thank you so much, Ms. Joanne Binonto, for that very inspiring and powerful message. To give everyone a sneak peek of what the Bangkulis, Tuna Tales from Hook to Cook has in store for us, we have invited 3 speakers who have been with the project since its early days to give us not only a deeper understanding of some of the segments, not only on the book, but what is the entire STP project itself has covered. Did you know that if fish were cars, then tuna would be Ferraris of the sea? To explain why the tuna became such an economically important fish, not just in the Philippines, but around the globe, we would like to call on a former panda and the editor of Bangkulis, Mr. Greg Yan.
Thanks a lot, Karen. Isang makakalikasang hapon po sa ating lahat, and a shout out for everyone who's joining us live here or on social media. Ako po si Greg Yan, and gaya ng sinabi ni Karen, I was once a panda that worked with Joe's team and many other teams at WWF. And favorite project ko kasi yung tuna team natin kasi very palpable yung passion nila for what they do. I mean, si Joe and her guys are people who would literally spend the whole day like hanggang alas 3 ng madaling araw, passionately talking about tuna consolidation. Inaantok na ako, tapos tuna consolidation pa rin. And they do it all the time. So, talagang back then, alam ko na winner talaga yung project nila. And it's been 10 years of hard work. And the book is not a culmination of 10 years of hard work. Kasi ongoing pa yung storya na to. But it gives people a glimpse of what kind of work is needed to truly transform our coastal fisheries to become sustainable. But our event is all about you. So we aim to give you a virtual experience to go tuna fishing. And if our wonky PowerPoint doesn't fail us, then we will dive deep and go to Occidental Mindoro. So if you will allow me to share my screen, and I really hope this works. So ladies and gents, thanks for joining us, and we're here to take you on a tuna trip. So imagine na alis tayo around this time, mga alas 3 o alas 4 ng hapon. Sasakay tayo ng isang bangka, dadala tayo ng jacket, tubig, chibog, headlamp, anything you might need to survive a night or two out at sea. The conditions can be rough. Kung hangin, malakas, kung gulong o malaking alon, pwedeng kasing laki ng kotse, mas laki ng bahay. And worst of all, kapag huminto na yung bangka, wala na siyang argument. Alam ko ni Karen kasi magaling siya sa physics. When you're dead in the water, yung galaw ng bangka, nakakahilo. So, you're maybe 30 kilometers out in the middle of nowhere. You look above, the stars are very faint. Kasi favorite conditions ng tuna fishers ang wala masyadong bituin. Kumahina ang buwan. Para ma-attract ang tuna sa mga bangka that shine, carbide lamps, torches, or LEDs, gaya ng nakikita natin sa larawan, straight into the water. And this, of course, attracts all sorts of life, such as the nice critter here left. So siya ay hinuli lang ng mabilis ng mangingisda with a long-handled net para ipakita. Kasi tinukuha nila yung kahit anong weird na makita nila doon. This is called buteteng laot or your magic porcupine fish. In the middle of nowhere, may lumulutang na ganyan. But don't worry, after 5 seconds, this guy was very gently released back at sea. Ang ginagamit para mangisda ay long-handled nets para manghuli ng mga pusit. Yung pusit, they zoom under the boat very fast, like torpedoes. Pero yung main na ginagamit natin are handline reels. So that's a picture of Joe with a stack of circular handline reels of varying sizes. And they are sustainable fishing gear. So, nandun tayo, in the middle of nowhere. Mga alas 12 na ng madaling araw, wala pa rin nangyari. Ang nahuhuli pa lang ay mga pusit like these Indian squid or Europeteus dubacelli. Ito ay pwedeng kainin but more often than not, yan ay pinakain upang makahuli pa ng malalaking isda. So finally, after hours at sea, after half a day, meron sisigaw, "Bangkulis!" And that's when I knew, finally, nakahuli na. At 4 a.m., after 12 hours at sea, merong mahuling yellowfin tuna. And unknown to most people who do not fish, marami doon sa silver na isda na nakikita natin sa palengke are actually quite colorful when they're alive. Yellowfin tuna actually gleam in hues of gold, green, and blue when they're alive. And it's only when life leaves them that they turn a plain silver. Swerte kasi nakahuli ng hindi isa, ngunit 2 40 kilogram ng bangkulis. Susubukan pa nating manghuli. Pero kahit na maximum ang effort ng ating mga mangingisda, mga managat, talagang talaga mahuli. Pero tatanungin natin sila, kamusta? Sabihin nila, swerte na po tayo, sir. Kasi wala pang 24 oras. Meron na tayong 2 maiuwi. And before the sun rises high, the next day, pabalik na po tayo ng coast of Mindoro to deliver this fish which fishers risk life and limb for. This is the bangkulis or our yellowfin tuna. But for the fish, the journey is just starting. For after they are unloaded from boats, they are brought to casas where they are chilled or iced and eventually processed properly. Kita nyo, kailangan proper yung suot ng magpo-process because sustainable tuna means tuna which has also been processed with the utmost care for food safety. The fish are very gently cleaned. They are very gently packed and sealed ng malamig pa. And they are also very gently placed in the shipping boxes that will send them to international markets in Japan or the Americas or the European nation or EU, which is the world's largest importer of seafood. And so it's thus that this fish is caught in the Philippines, but it reaches the whole wide world. Pero alam niyo ba that this fish is also the most expensive fish in the history of humanity? May papakita akong picture. Okay, looks like your usual tuna. This is a Pacific bluefin tuna, one of the larger tuna species. Itong isdang to ay naibenta noong 2019 for a whopping 155 million pesos sa Tsukiji market in Japan. I'll say that again, 155 million pesos for a 278 kilo fish. You can Google it. It's real. Kinumpute namin. Hindi naman ako magaling sa math, pero buti meron tayong Excel. This one fish cost enough money to feed 50 Pinoys breakfast, lunch, and dinner ng hamburgers every day for the next 50 years. That's 50 people for 50 years. Pero gamit natin McDo. So medyo social pa tayo, cheeseburger meal. Pero kung tayo ay mautak at medyo thrifty, pwede naman tayong kumain na lang ng ibang brand tulad ng Angel's Burger. Buy one, take one. Kaya hindi 50 years, 100 years. Ganyan kamahal ang tuna. Ngunit alam nyo ba that 50 years ago, tuna was considered a trash fish. Now, this is a fisheries term that we use for fish na medyo, okay, pag nahuli natin, pwede kainin, pwede tapo na lang. It was just caught by game fishers. At anong ginagawa sa tuna noong 1950s? Ginagawang pakain. When you say tuna, that usually was at 9. At kapag hindi mo naman tinatapon back into sea, minsan, sila ay dinadump sa landfills. Muna, dinadump sa landfills. Bakit? Now, let's go back to school. Isipin natin ang concept of commodification. Mga kaibigan, kung tayo bigyan ng isang ube, bili ba tayo? Bakit na tayo? Kasi makakabili na tayo dyan ng isang burger. Pero kung bili tayo ng isang burger, pag naka-travel tayo, abroad, malaki yung value niyan. Mga 5,800 rin yan. Ano ang totoong value nitong bills na to? It all really depends on society and what we want to ascribe. So they're all just, pero mas malaki yung value nung nasa kanan. This is an example of commodification in much the same way that we live and die for a useless piece of metal called gold. The value exists only in our heads. At papaano ba na-commodify ang tuna na dating trash fish to become the most expensive fish in the world? I'll tell a tale which goes back 600 years or more. We go back to the country of Japan. Back then, ang mga Japanese humuhuli ng tuna at marami pang klase ng seafood at ito'y binuburo nila in vinegared rice. Now, this is just really a tactic to make sure na hindi mabubulok yung hilaw na karne ng isda kapag sinustore mo sa isang jar or sa isang basket. Itong vinegared seafood ay tawag nila zare sushi or nare sushi. At ito ay naging delicacy sa Japan. But after Japan lost World War II at na-export na ang kultura niya dahil na-occupy siya, naging uso ang pagkain ng tuna. Sapagkat dahil mapapansin natin pulang-pula ang kulay niya at ang texture niya ay parang goma. Ang tuna meat ay mayroong myoglobin, which gives the meat a distinctive red color and a rubbery texture. Sa atin, hemoglobin sa tao, di ba? Rare magka-myoglobin sa tao, except pag nasa-stress ka. Kaya naging favorite natin ang Japanese sushi, sashimi, at iba't iba pang klaseng pagkain. Kasi Ma'am Big's favorite niya yan. She's posting with si Aya Medel na naging sushi chef niya. Diyan sa Bicol yan, sa Labrador. The concept of sushi spread from Japan to the States to every country in the world such that alam na natin kung ano itong mga to. This is nigiri or seafood topped rice. Ito medyo nakakagutom yung next part. Ito naman ay ang sashimi or raw seafood slivers. To the left, you will see high-grade yellowfin tuna. To the right, yan ay ang mid-grade bluefin tuna, tinatawag nating chutoro sa Japan. At ang pinakamadaling makita, syempre ay ang maki. Rolled seafood which over the years, naging hindi na rin seafood. Kasi meron na ngayong California maki na mga na lang kung ano man. All these contributed to make tuna a highly valued commodity such that nag-increase by 2,000% from the 1970s to the 1990s ang bluefin tuna fishing. At ang presyo ng bluefin tuna from being next to nothing nag-increase by 10,000%. Again, these are the same fish na walang value in 1950s. We've commodified them. And that's the story of how it came to be, just because of sushi. Ano naman po ang tuna? Ang ating libro ay maraming sections, and for people who love fish, matutuwa talaga kayo dito sa book na to. Long and short of it is that tuna are scombrids. These are mostly pelagic fish, and they're spread throughout the 7 seas. There are about 50 species of scombrids, pero let's concentrate on ito lang. Ito, bluefin tuna. Yan yung pinakamahal. Meron yan konti sa Pilipinas, pero sa malamig na tubig lang yan. Sa Ilocos, pa ilan-ilan lang yan. But in Japan, I took this picture before I cut out tong bluefin tuna. In-auction yan sa Keiji Market. Every day, binibenta yan, mga 5 p.m. Mataas ang value, hindi lang ng tuna, which is usually cut up for yung kinukunan kasi ng sashimi ay yung sides ng tuna. Meron na rin tayong tuna byproducts, and this is explained in the book. Ngayon, uso sa Pilipinas, recent lang, pansin nyo, punta kayong Jerry's Grill or Paddy's Point, meron ng tuna pa nga, tuna belly, tuna tail, itlog ng tuna. Dati wala naman yan. Pero para walang tapon sa isdang to, yan ay mga markets that have sprouted up. Now, every part of the tuna from its skin to its bones is used up by some market. Kaya very valuable siya. Ito naman po yung pangalawang dapat lang nating maalala. Ito naman si Katsuwonus filamis. Ito si skipjack tuna. And familiar siya sa atin sapagkat ito yung klase ng tuna na more often than not, kinakain natin pag canned tuna. Except pag nakalagay na yellowfin tuna yung nasa can, ito yung kinakain natin, skipjack. And this species has proven surprisingly resilient to fishing. Pero ang bida talaga, ang pinaka-highly valued dito sa Philippines, ayan. It's very distinctive because it has golden sickle-shaped fins and it's very resplendent in life. Gaya yung sinabi natin kanina, medyo greenish, medyo bluish, medyo dilaw siya kapag buhay. And this fish has literally buoyed the lives and livelihoods of millions of people. Even though hindi ka directly engaged sa tuna industry, basta nakikinabang ka by being a guy who delivers tuna, or a casa, or a processor, or an exporter of tuna, part ka ng tuna value chain. Unfortunately, tuna of all types, for many years, were caught using relatively unsustainable means. Meron tayong tinatawag na commercial purse seiners. If you can imagine, a purse seiner is a giant net. Kilometro yung haba niya. And it scoops up entire schools of fish. Babies, matanda, dolphin, everything. Nakakuha ng purse seine. Kung hindi naman purse seine, minsan gumagamit ng tinatawag natin pelagic long lines, which are literally lines anchored to buoys festooned with tens of thousands of baited hooks. At nakakahuli ito ng tuna, pero dahil marami namang kakagat sa baited hook, nakakahuli rin ito ng sea turtle, billfish, pating, dolphin, and other types of cetaceans. So itong mga long line, marami talagang tinatawag na bycatch dyan. Bycatch accounts for 40% of everything we pull out of our seas, by the way. It's a major problem that WWF is trying to address. And that's why ang tuna fisheries, minsan paunti na ng paunti yung nahuhuli. So fishers that can catch large yellowfin tuna a stone's throw away from their home kubos, lalayo na yan ng kilometro, ora-ora, para makakuha ng isa. At minsan, wala. And there are now more incidences of people catching juvenile yellowfin tuna. And the sad reality of it is that bago mag-itlog, mag-spawn at magparami ang ating yellowfin, sila ay nahuhuli at kinakain. So walang opportunity for them to proliferate. So ano po ang ating solution? The solution of Joe Binondo's team sa WWF Philippines is to empower a sector which is known as artisanal tuna fisheries. For generations, these people have been braving rough seas and the weather in small boats upang makahuli ng tuna. So, karamihan naman talaga ng boats natin sa Pilipinas, mga small boats. Ito yung mga municipal vessels natin. Ilan lang naman yung malaking commercial. Pero malaki rin yung epekto nila sa ating pangisdaan. Ang ginagamit ng ating artisanal fishers ay ang circular handline reel. So I have one here. I'm not sure kung makikita niyo. Pero yan, galing ng project site ng WWF and it's an actual handline reel. And the beauty of this is that, as you can see in the picture, it uses just one hook per reel. At malaki yung hook. Ibig sabihin, ang nakahuli lang ay adult-sized tuna. And this is far more sustainable than a giant net scooping up everything or a very long line with thousands of hooks, baiting and snagging everything. WWF goes one better by introducing new technology like circle or sea hooks. So as compared with traditional J hooks na pag kinagat mo, talagang masasnag ka. Yung shape ng sea hook, kapag kinagat yan, let's say, ng isang kawikan, it has a tendency to bend inwards, greatly reducing incidences of bycatch at no negative effects for tuna fishers. So it's technologies like this that can also save the charismatic marine critters that share our seas with our beloved bangkulis. At makikita natin in the book that the work of Joe Binondo's STP and PPTSTP with the help of the Bureau of Fisheries, local partners ng Doro at Bicol Region ay talagang nagpo-promote ng better way of catching and goal, not just to ensure na may tuna pa ngayon, ensure na may tuna pa bukas. And ating dahil paano magiging mag-end kailangan patuloy.
Okay, si Ben Kabisiga. Oo. Gawin, kita dito yan ay
So, para sa ating lahat po, itong librong celebration, transmission, fledgling, lang po sa tuna, pero sa mga ibang klaseng pangisdaan sa ating bansa. We hope you can get a copy of Bangkulis in the not too distant future para matutunan natin ang learning ng WWF team. At ating salamat po as ng now turn back Karen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Greg Yan. That was, I've learned so much, honestly. Thank you so much for your presentation. And now for our next speaker, we will talk about the importance of handline fisheries and why they are considered to be among the most sustainable and environmental friendly ways of fishing. To share her expertise, let us all welcome Tambuyog Development Center's Executive Director, Ms. Tina Omengan.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Isa sa mga pangunahing produksyon ng isda and export ng sektor ng pangisdaan sa Pilipinas ang tuna. Tuna fishing has a long history in the Philippines dating back to the 1900s under the American occupation. The southern cities of Zamboanga, Davao, and General Santos have seen the evolution of the tuna sector. Tuna fisheries became the largest and most valuable fisheries in the Philippines during the mid-1970s when bamboo rafts or payaw were introduced. The country became the #1 producer of tuna in Southeast Asia in the 1980s, only to be overtaken by Indonesia by the mid-80s and through the 1990s and 2007. 21 species of tuna have been recorded in the Philippine waters, but only 6 are caught in commercial quantity and form the basis of tuna fishing industry. Of the 6, only 5 form the bulk of catches and are listed in Philippine fisheries catch statistics. One of these is yellowfin tuna. Tuna fishery in the Philippines is more or less open access, with few measures in place to restrict catch levels. It is divided into municipal fisheries, mainly artisanal fishers using small boats, and commercial fisheries with boats larger than 3 gross tons. The commercial vessels use various fishing gears such as trolls or ring nets, which can catch large amounts of juvenile yellowfin tuna and other non-target species. Up to 87% of total yellowfin tuna landings are small juveniles, with pressure exceeding sustainable levels. This has led to a decrease of yellowfin tuna biomass in Philippine waters and a dramatic decline of the adult yellowfin tuna catches to only 25% of their 1990 level within 20 years. Artisanal handline fishing operations need to extend offshore to evade the increasing fishing pressure in nearshore areas. These fishers, originally fishing in waters 15 kilometers from the shore, are now operating up to 100 kilometers offshore. The need for fisheries management arises in the tuna-rich areas as the surplus production from fish stocks is overtaken by the catching capacity of fishing fleets. Fisheries management includes different management measures. Among these are technical regulations on fishing gears in order to obtain the overall goal of high sustainable yield in fisheries. These are regulations like mesh size to improve the selective properties of a fishing gear so that bycatches of juvenile fish are reduced in order to safeguard recruitment to the larger size groups of a fish stock, including the spawning stock. In recent years, there has been a growing focus on ecosystem effects on fisheries, addressing the impact of fishing operations not only on the target species, but also on bycatch of or other effects of non-commercial species or habitats. It has been estimated that there are about 9.45 million sets of handline gears in municipal waters, which is more than double the total number of other gears in municipal waters. Handline fisheries, which generally target commercially valuable species such as tuna, are considered among the most sustainable forms of fishing in the country. Handlining is traditional. It is highly selective for the target species and sizes, with negligible direct or indirect impact on non-target species, sizes, and habitats. It is effective, giving high catches of target species at lowest possible cost, and also handline producing catches of high quality. Ang WWF at iba pang CSOs, conservation NGOs, promote handline method of catching tuna. Hindi matatawaran ang mga taon or years of organizing and capacitating the handline tuna fishers in Mindoro Strait and Laguna Gulf for sustainable tuna production practices ng WWF. Tuna handline fishers are highly dependent on yellowfin tuna as a resource, and for most of them depend directly on yellowfin tuna catches as major source of income. In addition, processing and trade of yellowfin tuna provides income for many households in both areas. Mindoro's trading system is more strongly influenced by exports than Lagonoy, where fewer tuna is fed into international supply chains and more is sold locally and to neighboring regions. The dwindling tuna stocks in Philippine waters are putting these fishers and their families at risk of losing their livelihoods. To halt the downward trend of the yellowfin tuna stocks and to secure the income for artisanal fishers should be the most urgent goal of our tuna industry. The strategy employed by the STP project, which is establishing a multi-stakeholder partnership dialogue structures along tuna supply chains, could contribute to more equitable and sustainable management of the yellowfin tuna's resources in Philippine waters, and could enhance the socio-economic situation of small-scale handline tuna fishers and secure their livelihoods in the long term. Congratulations to WWF through the STP project sa paglalabas ng coffee table book na ito na naglalaman ng mayamang karanasan sa pagsuporta sa mga handline tuna fishers sa Mindoro Strait at Laguna Gulf. Mabuhay po kayo at maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dina Omegan. Thank you so much also to all our speakers for giving us a sneak peek of the book. Again, please visit the WWF Philippines website to get a copy of Pangkulis, Tuna Tales from Hook to Cook, which will be available for download very soon. As mentioned earlier, WWF Philippines has been working with the artisanal fishers of the Laguna Gulf and Mindoro Strait since 2011, and has since developed a great bond with the fisher folk of these communities who have been involved in many WWF Philippines efforts on sustainable fishing practices. From initiatives to prevent post-harvest losses, to social enterprise development, to important innovations in seafood traceability, they have been true partners for sustainable fisheries and model communities for responsible fishing practices. To talk about the WWF Philippines STP project has created an impact in their livelihood, let's welcome our partner Fisherbook who will share their experiences. Roll VTR.
Ako po si Saldi Bubuyo, taga Barangay Lourdes, Tiwi Albay. Ako po ang leader ng tuna fisher sa Tiwi. Noon pong magsimula ang Sustainable Tuna Project ng WWF, natulungan po kami para madagdagan ang aming kaalaman sa pangingisda, lalo na sa aming resources. Sa pamamagitan ng mga training, seminar, na alaman namin kung paano ang pagprotekta ng aming pinagkukunan ng isda. Nagkaroon kami ng dagdag kaalaman kung paano namin mapapanatili ang kalidad ng aming mga huling tuna. At sa pamamagitan noon, napapataas namin ng konti yung presyo na makakatulong sa aming pamilya. Yung mga asawa namin, nagkaroon din ng patraining para magkaroon sila ng kaalaman sa pagproseso ng isda na mga nahuhuli namin, lalo na pag nagkakaroon ng panahon na maraming isda, bumababa naman yung presyo. So napatraining sila para maproseso nila, makagawa sila ng kung ano-ano man na tulad ng longganisa, pusino, embutido, para muli mapataas yung presyo ng isda namin.
Hello, congratulations WWF Philippines on the successful completions of your Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program. The hard work and persistent effort of your team induced small-scale tuna handline fishers to participate in the Fishery Improvement Project. A decade of collaboration went into achieving the Marine Stewardship Council certification for sustainable fisheries in the Bohol. Thank you all for your terrific job. From the Gulf of Lagunoy Tuna Fishers Federation Incorporated Families, Chinerias.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Chairman Conchita Roldan ng INFARMC. Nang ibig sabihin po ng INFARMC ay Municipal Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Management Council. At ako din po ang chairman ng FIFAR. Nang ibig sabihin po ay Federation of Fisher Folks Association of Rizal. Na kung saan po, kung atin pong titingnan, ang layunin po ng INFARMC Council at ng Federation ay isa. Ang mapaangat po ang antas ng pamuhay ng mga mangisda. Pag nagkaroon po ng problema tungkol sa pangisdaan, kami po bilang council ng INFARMC ay nag-uusap kung ano po ang magandang gawin para makatulong sa aming mangisda at ganun din po sa federasyon. Na kung nagkaroon po ng problema, ang 14 po na samahan ay sama-samang nagpupulong at pinag-uusapan kung ano po yung magandang solusyon doon sa problema na na-encounter ng aming mga mangisda sa bayan ng Rizal. At dahil po dito, ay nagkaroon po kami na ugnayan ng STP, WWF Philippines, na ang layunin po nila ay mapaangat ang antas ng mga mangisda sa buong Occidental Mindoro, lalo na po sa bayan. Magandang ugnayan namin ng STP, WWF Philippines bilang chairman ng INFARMC at ng Federation. Kami pong mga mangisda sa bayan ng Rizal ay maraming natutunan dahil sa walang tigil na pagtuturo sa amin ng tamang orientasyon, trainings and seminar, actual demonstration kung paano po pangalagaan ang isda, lalo na ang tuna sa bayan ng Rizal, Occidental Mindoro. Dahil po dito, nagkaroon kami ng maraming kaalaman kung paano mapanatili ang magandang kalidad ng nahuli naming tuna at kung paano ito magkaroon ng magandang presyo na kung saan ay siya naman pong ikinatutuwa naming mga mangisda sa bayan ng Rizal dahil sa walang sawang pagtuturo sa amin ng tama ng STP WW Philippines upang lalong umangat at mapaunlad ang aming pangisdaan sa bayan ng Rizal, Occidental, Mindoro. Sa magandang ugnayan ng STP WW Philippines ay walang tigil po at tuloy-tuloy ang pagbibigay sa amin ng training, seminar, orientation at actual demonstration kung paano mapanatili ang kalidad ng aming isda, lalo po sa tuna, na kung saan magkaroon po ito ng tamang presyo o halaga dahil ang kalidad po nito ay napanatili ng mga mangisda sa bayan ng Rizal, ganoon din po sa buong Occidental Mindoro. At dahil po sa pagbibigay ng mga ganitong orientasyon sa amin ng STP WWF, ay nagkaroon po ng katuparan na kami ay magkaroon ng MEC o Marine Steward Certificate, na kung saan ang pinakabuod po nito ay maibenta ng maayos at magkaroon tamang presyo ang tuna na galing sa Mindoro Street, na kung saan po isa po dito sa kasama nito ay ang bayan ng Rizal, Occidental Mindoro. Dito sa magandang layunin ng STP WWF Philippines, kami po ay buong pusong nagpapasalamat sa pamunuan ng STP WWF Philippines, na kung saan ang layunin po nila na matulungan kami upang maiangat ang antas ng aming pamumuhay, lalo na po sa pangalaga ng kalidad ng tuna fishers, ay amin na pong natupad. At sana po tuloy-tuloy ang magandang layunin ng STP WWF Philippines, na kung saan nandito po kami mga mangisda sa bayan ng Rizal na walang tigil na sumusuporta din sa kanilang layunin upang lalong maiangat ang aming antas na pamumuhay bilang isang mangisda at mapanatili po ang magandang kalidad ng aming tuna fishers sa buong Occidental Mindoro, lalo na po sa bayan ng Rizal, Occidental Mindoro. Maraming salamat po STP WWF Philippines. Maraming salamat po.
Isang mapagpalang araw sa lahat. Ang Mindoro Strait ay isang pinagpalang lugar na binigay sa amin ng Panginoon sapagkat dito nananaanan ang maraming klase ng isda. At isa na dito ang yellowfin tuna, na siyang pangunahing pinagkakitaan namin mga isda, kung saan ito ay ginagamita namin ng tradisyonal na pamaraan ng panghuhuli, pangawil. At ito ay ang hook and line, isang sustainableng pamaraan ng panghuli ng isda. Marami kaming nahuhuli, ngunit sa paglipas ng panahon, dumarami na rin ang mga mangingisda. Ganon na rin ang commercial fishing. Medyo nalimitahan kami sa panghuli ng tuna. At dito nga dumating ang isang non-government organization na Worldwide Fund o WWF, na siyang gumabay sa amin upang magkaisa, upang bumuo at mag-organisa ng samahan ng mga mangingisda. Sila rin ang nagturo sa amin kung paano na maging isang responsableng mangingisda. At sila din ang nagbigay kaalaman sa amin upang mapangalagaan namin ang aming pangisdaan sa pamamaraang sustainable. Sa halos isang dekadang pagsaayos namin sa aming pangisdaan, katulong at ibang ahensya ng gobyerno at non-government organization, ay handa na kami sa anumang balakid sa loob ng aming pangisdaan. Halimbawa na lamang ang ayuyo. Sa tulong ng ahensya ng gobyerno na may kinalaman sa pangisdaan at ng WWF, ito ay unti-unti naming naalis sa aming lugar. Ang WWF din ang nag-organisa sa amin upang mabuo ang samahan ng mangingisda, traders, processor, o exporter upang pumasok sa isang makabagong pandaigdigang kalakalan ng aming produktong tuna. At ito ay ang sertifikasyon ng Marine Stewards Council o MEC. Sa nakikita namin sa MEC, hindi lamang ang aming pangisdaan ang magiging sustainable, kundi pati na rin ang aming pangkabuhayan sa pangisdaan ng tuna. Kaya tumaasa kami sa magandang epekto ng logo ng MEC sa merkado. Bilang iPharmacy Chair, malaki ang may aambag kong tulong upang ipagpatuloy ang mga kondisyon na ibababa ng MEC. Ito ang gagamitin namin upang lalo pang maging sustainable ang aming pangisdaan at mapapakinabangan pa ng susunod pang henerasyon sa amin. Muli po, isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat ang pagkakaroon ng sertifikasyon at logo ng MEC. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you so much, our partner Fisherfolk, for sharing your stories. It is truly heartfelt. It's amazing to know how the project was able to transform lives over the course of its run while promoting sustainable and responsible fishing practices. As mentioned by Ms. John earlier, the WWF Philippines STP team has worked and still working with various LGUs, NGOs, and coastal communities to champion sustainable fisheries in the country. That being said, we have a few friends from our partners and stakeholders who would like to congratulate the team for successfully producing the book that we're launching today. I guess everyone's excited to see our well-wishers. Let's see the videos, please.
Good afternoon to everyone. In behalf of the Provincial Government of Occidental Mindoro, I am congratulating the stakeholders and agencies who exerted time and tireless effort in collaborating with each other in working and establishing the Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program in order to achieve the environmental and production sustainability of tuna industry in Mindoro Strait and Lagunoy Gulf. The decade-long collective efforts of different stakeholders in participating the Sustainable Tuna Partnership resulted to an effective development and implementation of the Mindoro Strait Tuna Fisheries Management Plan and contributed in attaining its development goals and objectives to help sustain the tuna industry productivity, reduce poverty in the fishing community, and enhance the socio-economic upliftment in the locality. Lastly, we would like to congratulate the Worldwide Fund in their strong leadership in initiating the implementation of the plans, programs, and activities that benefited the whole tuna industry sector. Their technical and financial assistance enhanced and strengthened the tuna fishing community and the tuna industry as a whole. We are proud that WWF became our partner in the success of tuna industry development and productivity in the Mindoro Strait and Lagunoy Gulf. The launching of this book is a proof of and evidence of the success of all. Thank you, WWF. Thank you to all, and stay safe.
Good morning, everyone. I am excited to see the result of your perseverance, hard work, determination, and love to our tuna fishers in Lagunoy Gulf and Mindoro Strait. My congratulations to the WWF Philippines for launching this book. Enjoy the success you have worked to achieve, and my best wishes in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Sustainable Tuna Partnership or STP program undertaken by WWF Philippines in partnership with BFAR and NGOs is worth it as it will guide our fisher folks on their way to improve their living conditions. There is a great potential in the fishery sector. The province, being an island surrounded by marine resources, will contribute much towards food security and sustainability for our local populace. With modern and appropriate technologies and processes inculcated by the program, protection and conservation of marine resources as everybody's concerned, we hope to increase productivity of tuna and other species within ecological carrying capacities to sustain the needs of the future generation. Let us do our part. On behalf of OPAG Catanduanes, we wish to congratulate WWF for the STP book launch. Congratulations and mabuhay.
Hi. On behalf of Patty, I would like to congratulate WWF for a successful Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program. Now, it's going to lead us to an MSC accreditation, which will change the landscape of our tuna livelihood. Thank you for teaching us how to be sustainable and empowering our fishers. More power and God bless to each and every one. Thank you.
Indeed, when everyone's united for the common good, we can definitely change the ending for the environment and support lives of those who support ours. May we request Ms. Joanne Binondo, Mr. Greg Yan, Mr. Bernard Mayo, Mr. Arnel Boholst, and Mr. Atenogenes Riaso to open their cameras as we now open the floor for questions from our friends from the media. In the interest of time, we will only be accommodating 5 questions. For anyone who has questions, kindly click the raise hands button below so that we can unmute you. Alternatively, anyone with a question could also type in their names or publication and questions in the Zoom chat box found on the sides. All right. Now we have our panelists with us, and we have some questions from our audiences. Let me start with the first question. This is for Sir Greg and Ms. Joanne. Any one of you can answer. What was it like writing and pulling together Bangkulis, and how did you decide what to include and to focus on?
Greg, can you go ahead?
All right, thanks, Joe, and thanks, Karen. So I've always believed that a good book should make people feel something, anything. Walang kwenta yung libro unless it's a textbook, di ba? Kung wala kang nararamdaman, pag binabasa mo yun, hindi siya okay na product. The thing is, every single story of the 2 dozen or more that we've included in the book is so full of feelings ng mga tao. Ang ganda niyan. Kasi kitang-kita mo yung frustration, yung takot, yung hope ng mga mangingisda, ng paggawa ng asosasyon dahil kailangan nilang umutang or indebted sila sa kasa. Kitang-kita mo yung very real human condition sa kanila. And the other thing na ginamit natin as a good guide for the book is that we have followed a different kind of narrative. Usually, when you tell a story, it follows your usual narrative. So you introduce characters, merong problema, may solusyon, maayos, tapos may dinuma. Or babalik ka ulit sa how you were at the start. Tinay natin na hindi pa tapos yung storya. So, gaya nga ng sinabi natin kanina, the end has not been written for this book. This is just the parang the status of how the project has been doing in the first 10 years. Yung WWF may saying, change the ending. What if hindi pa natin alam yung ending? Kung hindi pa natin alam, doble yung effort natin sa pag-secure sa happy ending na gusto natin. Kasi baka sa 11th year, hindi natin alam kung ano mangyari. 12th year, di ba? Kailangan patuloy-tuloy. And that's really the story, not just of this book, but of the majority of conservation projects na nangyayari ngayon. Kailangan tuloy-tuloy yung trabaho natin para one day maging masaya talaga. So, Joe, maybe you want to add?
Yes. If I can add to that, when I wanted how the book should be shared and to come up with this coffee table book, actually, we start with an end in mind. As early as 2011, I told my team to capture all the story. The project is so very technical, but then I wanted to inspire people, to inspire the fishers, the small-scale fishers, and to show the world, especially in the global market, that even the small-scale fishers can achieve those milestones. Then, itong mga tuna fishers natin, last year, they were devastated. I was also devastated after 10 years na gusto na namin gawin, and we are about to transition our role na devastate ang 2 project sites with Quinta, with of course ang buong Lagunoy Gulf, with the region with Typhoon Rolly and Ulysses. Kala ko it's dead. Hindi na maano yung success story. But it is really a turn around. The story becomes a beautiful story of really the resiliency of our fishers, because I did not I myself did not believe that after that December, in January in 2021, they were able to build back, and that shows resiliency. And then I realized we have to write these stories of the journey of the fishers, of their struggles. This should be, I told to Greg and Alo and those in the comms team, to write an inspiring story that kahit sa kabila ng lahat ng mga nangyayari sa mga sa pandemic, the fishers is in the right track. May saysay pala yung 10 years naming mga ginagawa, because they were able to stand and build back what has been lost to them of the strong typhoon, and they will still continue to the work that we have been trying to achieve, really the sustainable fisheries. It's just this, they have been telling about coming up with because of our fishery improvement project, to have this eco-label, third-party eco-label. But this is the start of the hard work. So we just want people to share our stories, that this is a start of that journey. It's 10 years, it's not easy, but we can still achieve what we wanted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Joanne and Sir Craig. I'm sure the book is very inspirational. But ngayon, puntahan naman natin si Ginoong Arnel, Ginoong Atinogenes, at Ginoong Bernard. Ngayon, meron po akong katanungan sa inyo. Unahin po muna rin si Sir Arnel, pare-parehas lang naman po ang katanungan. Kamusta ang FYP process para sa inyo bilang mangingisda? At ano ang inaasahan niyong makamit ng inyong komunidad sa proyektong ito?
Pakiulit mo ng tanong, FYP?
Apo, kamusta ang FYP process para sa inyo bilang mangingisda at ano ang inaasahan niyong makamit ng inyong komunidad sa proyektong ito?
Kung sasabihin natin ang mga proyekto o na kung ano ang kahalagan nito sa amin, na tinitingnan namin na ito ay isang napakahalagang bagay para sa tuloy. Pwede ba ang Tagalog? Ma'am?
Pwede, sir.
Sige. Kasi baka ang programang ito na mga dadating ay ito ay magigilamang bahagi o pagpapatuloy kung ano ang nasimulan sa STP. At ito ay napakagandang programa para kung sinasabi natin na sustainability, ito ang kasagutan o tugon para mas lalo pang mapangalagaan ang piyamang dagat ng Laguna Gulf at ng Mindoro Strait. Yung pangalawa pong tanong, ano po yun? Makakalimutin kasi ako.
Ang pangalawang tanong po, okay lang po. Ang pangalawang tanong po, ano ang inaasahan niyong makamit ng inyong komunidad sa proyektong ito?
Ang inaasa naming nito, sinabi nga ng mga nagbigay ng mga kanilang mga mensahe o testimonya na maiangat ang antas ng pagkabuhay, ng kabuhayan. Ako sa tingin ko kasi hindi lang basta iangat ang antas ng kabuhayan, kundi masagip o mapangalagaan ang pinagkukunan ng hanap buhay, ay iyon ay inapakalaki ng bagay sa amin bilang mga leader. Kasi yun ang gusto namin, na mapangalagaan at manumbalik ang sinasabing ang malaparaisong dagat, na kung saan kahit maraming kumukuha, kung ito ay sa tama, ito ay manginginabang ang susunod na saring lahi. Kaya yung sinasabi na dito na kung ano ang namin, sana hindi lang dito, hindi lang itong mga nandito na mga sinasabing tuna fishers, kundi madagdagan pa ang kaalaman sa komunidad, patuloy na advokasya o pagpapaliwanag sa bawat bayan-bayan, ayon ay isa na namang matagumpay na adikain at layunin ng bawat programa, maging gobyerno man ito, pribado. Yun ang inaasam namin na sana sa susunod na mga programa, yung pinagkukunan ang unahin na pangalagaan at tingnan din kung hindi kasi na sinasabi natin na kung sa programa itinataas ang antas ng pagkabuhay, subalit dapat din nating tingnan sa mga susunod na programa. Sinabi nga ni Ma'am Joanne, pag dumadating ang kalamidad at pandemya, wala tayong magagawa. Subalit, mayroon tayong magagawa. Kung sa programa ay nakapaloob dun sa programa na mayroong mapagkukunan o pundo na sa mga pag dumating yung mga pandemya o kalamidad, mayroong kaagad tayong mapagkukunan. Yung kung sinasabi ninyo quick response team, pinangalanan ko yung resiliency fund dahil alam ko na matatatag ang mga mangingisda. Yun din ang inaasahan namin na sana sa mga susunod na una, pangalagaan yung pinagkukunan para sa susunod na saring lahi at may balik ang malaparaisong dagat. Pangalawa, madagdagan ang kaalaman o yung mga impormasyon ay hindi lang dito matatapos sa aklat, kundi may parating ang tunay na mensahe nito sa mga kanayunan upang maintindihan ng mga susunod na henerasyon. Yun lang po.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Arnel. Marami po akong natutunan sa inyong sinabi. Ngayon pumunta naman po tayo kay Sir Ateno Henes at kay Sir Bernard. Meron po ba kayong maidadagdag sa sinabi po ni Sir Arnel? Umpisahan po natin kay Sir Ateno Henes. Unmute po, sir.
Yung mic lang po, sir.
Yes, yan. Ayan po.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. On the part po ng Gulf of Laguna Tuna Fishers Federation, bago ng Sustainable Tuna Partnership Program ng WWF, ay meron silang yung previous na programa na Philippine Tuna Partnership Program toward Sustainable Tuna, na kung saan doon po nabuo yung 15 Tuna Fishers Association ng Gulf of Lagunoy. At doon din nabuo on the later part ng programa nila, doon nabuo yung Gulf of Lagunoy Tuna Fishers Federation Incorporated, na kung saan nag-decide yung mga leader ng association, ng 15 association, na saan na ba tayo papunta? Almost matatapos na yung 5 taon natin na pagsama-sama, pag-uusap-usap. Saan na ba tayo papunta? So doon nag-decide na talaga na ano ba ang mga huli nating tuna? Pwede bang i-global natin o local? So yun ang So ang doon na kami nag-design na talaga na maging global yung tuna, na pwedeng pagandahin yung sistema ng paghuli para maganda yung quality at saka pumasa para sa export quality. So ngayon, after that po, nandito naman yung STP ng WWF, na kung saan sa mga strategies na isinagawa ng WWF para makuha yung loob ng mga tuna fishers dito sa Lagunoy Gulf, ay talagang sabi ko nga kanina, doon sa partnership program towards sustainable tuna, parang binobobo yung mga mangingisda ng WWF talaga eh. Pero dito, isinama nila yung mga mangingisda doon sa programa ng Sustainable Tuna Partnership. Kinapacitate nila yung mga leader at saka yung ibang mga member para tumulong sa WWF na pumunta doon sa mga liblib na lugar na kung nandoon yung mga members namin. Tumulong kami para maunawahan nila kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng Sustainable Tuna Partnership. Train nila kami, trainers training, na-accredit yung association namin, yung 15 association sa mga local government units, nabigyan ng pagkakataon yung mga leader na maging member ng Municipal Development Council. One example mo noon sa akin, modesty aside, na-elect po ako ng civic society ng local government unit ng Malilikot na mag-represent doon sa Municipal Development Council. Ako po ang co-signatories ng local chief executive sa mga programang ipapalabas nila papunta doon sa higher echelon ng government para humingi ng tulong, parang ganun. And aside from that po, na-elect din po ako as chairman ng Municipal Agricultural and Fishery Council. Yung po, ang council na yun ay yung advisory ng Municipal Development Council. So yan po ang kabutihang na ibigay sa amin ng FIP. Hindi lang ako, marami pang mga leaders na nabigyan ng pagkakataon para maipaabot nila sa local government unit ng kanilang munisipyo yung mga daing ng mga mangingisda sa kanilang lugar. So napakalaki pong pagkatapos po noon, natulungan pa kami para makamit namin sa mga darating na siguro mga araw na lang yung Marine Stewardship Council certification para doon sa sustainable fishery sa Gulf of Lagunoy. So napakalaking yun. Kasi doon sa programa ng FIP inalign ng WWF doon sa international standard ng MSC na kung saan nag-concentrate po kami doon sa 3 principle ng MSC, yung sustainable stock, ecosystem impact, at saka yung fishery management. Ang part po ng mga tuna fishers doon sa 3 principle, sa sustainable, yun nga nasabi na kanina, na ang fishing gear na gamit ng mga mangingisda dito sa Laguna Niguel, parehas din sa Mindoro State na handline fishing, single hook. So talagang hindi makakahuli ng maramihan ng gayang i-present kanina yung sa commercial fishing na yung long line na talagang may mga bycatches na mga ATP, endangered, threatened, at saka protected species, pating, at saka yung iba pa. Doon naman po sa ecosystem impact, yun na nga, handline lang. So walang pambihira yung bycatch na mahuli. Pambihira. Doon naman sa fishery management, yun na nga, kanina na-mention ko na mayroon kaming, nabigyan kami ng slot doon sa local government unit para makapag-suggest kung anong pwedeng mai-issue nila ng mga ordinances or memorandum para doon sa management ng aming municipal waters. So yan po ang kabutihan na naibigay sa amin ng partnership program toward sustainable tuna and sustainable tuna partnership ng WWF Philippines. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Ateneo Henes. Ngayon po si Sir Bernard. Meron po tayong maidadagdag. Yan, unmute po. Ayan po. Pwede na po kayo magsalita.
Okay. Isang mapagpalang hapon po sa ating lahat. Kagaya po ng sinabi ng mga kasamaan ko na ang pinaka masterpiece po dito sa aming ginagawa na ito ay ang WWF dahil kung hindi dahil sa kanila, siguro kagaya nung sinabi ko sa aking doon sa video na ganoon pa rin kami sa dati. Walang patutunguhan o walang mga paraan na makakaayos sa pangkabuhayan namin dahil kagaya po nga po nung una pangkaraniwan lang yung aming ginagawa, wala kaming kalam-alam kung ano ba talaga ang dapat gawin sa pangisdaan, kung ano ba talaga ang dapat gawin ng mga mangingisda at wala sa aming kaisipan yung sinasabing sustainable, kung ano ba talaga yan, sustainable na yan. Ngunit nung dumating nga sila, pinamulat nila sa amin kung paano magkaisa, bumuo ng mga samahan, pag-aralan yung aming pangisdaan at ganun din kung paano matulungan yung iba pang mga mangingisda, maliit na mga mangingisda na maging maayos at hindi lumabag sa batas. Dahil ang unang-una po talagang hindi yung magandang hindi ginagawa ng mga mangingisda yung naging mapasama doon sa IUU. Yung mga illegal ang ginagawa. So, talagang napakalaki pong bagay yung itulong ng WWF sa amin. Lalo na sa akin na bilang isang leader ng mga mangingisda, ako nung una po, wala akong alam-alam kung paano ang mangisda, kung paano ang regulasyon sa pangisdaan. Sa ngayon po, nung dumating sila, doon po kami na-train ng ayos. Hindi lamang sa pangkabuhayan o sa ano pa mang bagay. Lahat ay natutunan namin dahil sa mga training na ibinigay sa amin. Sila rin ang nagbigay sa amin ng oportunidad para makaahon doon sa mga hindi magagandang gawain ng mga mangingisda at maitama ito ng maayos at kagaya nga po sabi ng mga kasama ko na maging sustainable yung pangisdaan hindi lamang sa ngayon sa panghabang panahon at mapakinabangan pa ng mga susunod na henerasyon sa amin. Hindi siguro hindi pag tumagal pa, hindi lang siguro sa libro na nila makikita yung uri ng tuna kung hindi meron pa ring natitira dahil nga doon sa sustainable ginawa at yung katulong namin ng WWF. Napakalaki po ng ginawa ng WWF sa amin dahil sa kanila at sa mga kasamahan namin sa local government may kinalaman sa pangisdaan, bumuo po kami ng isang matagalang kapakipakinabang na management. Yun po yung local tuna management plan ng Mindoro Strait. Sa tingin ko po, malaking tulong ito sa amin. Hindi lang po sa amin, pati sa local government. Ito yung magiging Biblia namin para maging pangmatagalang pangkabuhayan ng mga maliit na mangingisda. Hindi lang po sa maliit na mga mangingisda, ganun din sa mga komersyal. Dahil kung hindi malilimitahan yung komersyal, sila yung malaking partisipasyon para maubos yung mga isda. So, kaya at ngayon po, malaki talaga yung naitulong nila ng WWF dahil sa ngayon po ay ang local government ay kami na yung tinatanong kung ano ba talaga yung kalagayan ng pangisdaan, ano ba dapat gawin sa pangisdaan. At sa akin pong palagay, malaki na rin yung aking naiambag dahil sa ngayon po meron pong ibinaba na programa ang BIPAR, national government dito sa amin, yung FMA 5, isa po ako doon sa naging management board. Siguro kung hindi po dumaan ako sa training na ibinigay o ano ng WWF, hindi siguro po ako mapasama doon. Malaking bagay po yun sa amin. Kasi isa kami sa inaasahan na maging kaagapay ng national government upang mapangalagaan yung aming pangisdaan dito sa Occidental Mindoro na napapakinabangan namin sa ngayon. At malaki rin po ang nagiging pakinabang ng gobyerno dito dahil sa export quality yung mga tuna na nagagaling dito sa amin. So, at pagdating nga po nitong pinaghirapan na talagang pinagsunugan ng kilay ng WWF, katulong yung ibang ahensya ng gobyerno at naming mga mangingisda, siguro po ay makakamit na yung matagal na naming minimite na sertifikasyon ng steward ang MEC dahil at malaki po ang aming pag-asa na malaki pang iaangat ng kabuhayan ng mga mangingisda nang dahil doon sa MEC. Dahil itong sertifikasyon pong ito, itong logo ng MEC, ang tinitingnan sa merkado sa ibang bansa na ang gusto kasi ng mga consumers sa ibang bansa ay yung sertifikasyon ng MEC. Ibig sabihin galing sa sustainable pangisdaan at habang panahon nilang makakapagsuporta sa kanila. So, sa ginagawa po ng WWF, sana po hindi dito mag-end yung kanilang tulong. Kumbaga, nilagay nyo kami na sa ganitong sitwasyon, nandun na kami, pero hindi pa namin talaga gamay kung paano patakbuhin itong ganitong pamumuhay, itong ganitong larangan ng paghahanap buhay. Nangangailangan pa rin siguro po kami ng inyong alalay para panghabang buhay talaga yung magiging pangkabuhayan ng mga mangisda, maliit na mangisda. Hindi lang po dito sa amin sa Occidental Mindoro, pati siguro po sa Lagunoy Gulf, dahil po yun po ang partner namin. So sa lahat at sa WWF, maraming salamat po sa tulong na naibigay nyo sa amin at sa ibibigay pang tulong sa pag-alalay sa amin. Marami pong salamat. Magandang hapon.
Okay, maraming pong salamat, Sir Bernard. And that is what we call as life testimonies of how change lives happen through different projects from WWF. At nandiyan po si Ma'am Joanne, Sir Greg, and the whole WWF Philippines team para suportahan at tulungan po kayo in the future and also for your kids as well. Now for our last question, this is for Ms. Joanne or Sir Greg, and if any one of you can answer, this is a question from our Facebook page. What can regular Filipino consumers do to help promote sustainable tuna in our domestic market?
Okay. Yeah. I know that it's the international market that has this high awareness and the demand for a sustainable seafood products. And we want to create that awareness to the local domestic market. Kasi yung pandemya, yung nagpa-heightened nung needs na yon when the travel restriction due to the COVID-19 na-disrupt yung tuna supply chain, and it will really create that economic crisis sa ating mga mangingisda. So we want really to strengthen the local domestic market, because we really wanted na hindi lang naman yung mga export market can makatikim ng ating deserve ng ating mga good quality tuna and sustainable tuna. It should be we have to secure the food security, in terms of food security of the country. We have to propel our local economy. So maganda na as a consumer, you have to demand that sustainable source. And you have to know your product. Kaya nga kami ng traceability system. So it should be a traceable tuna from hook to hook. We envision na on your plate, pag i-ano mo sa smartphone, because we want that, coming from paper-based, we want it to be digital, na pagdating sa market, makikita mo kung sino yung fishers na saan nakukuha, what time nakukuha, that information. And if you will patronize that product, and if you will have this market denial of IUU from illegal, undocumented, and unregulated fisheries, mag-market denial yung mga consumer and will demand more sustainable source product or responsibly sourced tuna, then yun, malaki ng tulong bilang mga consumer. Sabi ko na nga, nakatikim pa kayo ng tuna na presko at masarap, nakatulong pa kayo sa mga maliliit na mga isda na mahirap. That's for me. That's a challenge also for us, that we can, in our own small way, by patronizing sustainable seafood, by promoting sustainable seafood at the local and domestic market, we can really help our fishers, the small-scale handling fishers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much to all our panelists. Maraming salamat po for your insights. And now we want to thank you also for the media who actually asked the questions and who are still here. Thank you very much. We hope you were able to get the answers you needed. Should you have any further questions or wish to get excerpts from the book to support the story you will be working on about Bangkulis, Tuna Tales from Hook to Cook, feel free to contact WWF Philippines Assistant Manager for External Communications and Ambassador Programs. That is Ms. Cheska Guevara. This is through the contact details that will be shared on your screen right now. Now we have reached the end of our program. To formally conclude today's affair, may we call on Mr. Alo Lantin, WWF Philippines Communications Officer, for the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Karen, and thank you everyone as well who has shared today for taking time to talk with us on this Friday. Good afternoon, all. I'd like to take a moment first to thank all of you for taking the time to be here. You being here gives me further hope that we can save our seas. This book is a summary of a decade of conservation work together with the handline tuna fishers of the Lagonoy Gulf and Mindoro Strait. Beyond that, though, we wrote this book to propose an example, something that others can emulate on the path towards sustainable fisheries. The elephant tuna is a crucial species to the Philippines, but there are many more fisheries and many more species of fish out there. Sardines, reef fish, billfish, anchovies. Our seas are rich with important life that we depend on. This book proposes an example as to how we can take better care of them. This book is also a celebration of what our fishers have achieved over the past 10 years. They have come a long way since we first started working with them over a decade ago, and they've made many strides in the path towards sustainability. The journey is not over, though. It hasn't ended with the publishing of this book. True environmental sustainability is still a ways out, but what is important is that right now and well into the future, our partner fishers are committed to exploring and to growing and to seeing it through, and we are committed to supporting them. This is a thank you to everyone. This is a thank you to all of you who are here right now for being here and for taking interest in the protection of our seas. This is also a thank you to our partners, our supporters who have helped make this journey possible. Thank you for what you have done to support us and for choosing to walk alongside us through all these years. Most importantly, though, this is a thank you to our partner fishers. This book is their journey. It's their story of community organization and of empowerment for the sake not just of their livelihoods, but of this planet. This is a thank you to them for being heroes and of inspirations for the environment. We're here, where we're at today is not the end of this journey. Real change is a lengthy process, but if done right, it can last for many years. All of us are committed to seeing it through for the sake of a future where all of us can live in harmony with nature. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lantin. That concludes today's book launch. Thank you everyone for joining us in this momentous event. Before we wrap up, may we request our guests to open their cameras for a group photo. Right. Okay. Now one of our team members will be the one to capture the photo. So please everyone, have a smile on your face. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's have one more. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. That concludes today's book launch. Thank you everyone for joining us in this momentous event. Again, please visit WWF Philippines website to get a copy of Bangkulis, Tuna Tales from Hook to Cook, which will be available for download very soon. This is Karen Ibasco, your WWF Philippines ambassador, now signing off. Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.